listen, this is what it was. I'm at my locker. Lance has no clue that I had failed at attempting to take my own life.
Mm.
Lance is at his locker. He goes in his book, gets his stuff, shuts his locker. He turns, walks away, and he turns back. He says, "Hey, Dave." I said, "Yeah? What are you doing on Thursday?" "Nothing." "You want to come with me to this event?" "Sure." So I had someone time that, and the person said that was 8.9 seconds.
There you go.
James, we sometimes make this so incredibly complicated.
Yes.
But how deep is, hey, what? You want to come with me to this
Want to
thing?
come with.
Sure.
Want to come
And
with.
like, that would be the catalyst. And I think this is important for our hearers to listen. You know, see, I'd grown up in church, and what happened in this transformation of my life is going in a way that God crystallized the gospel to go from religion to relationship, in a very healing and transformative way in my life. You know, but the power of just invitation, because when Lance invited me, I was aware that my life was not working. Like
Right.
it was tore up. He didn't know that. And I remember when he invited me, I thought to myself this: hey, I'll go. I have nothing to lose. But I never imagined how much I had to gain.
Yeah, that's right. And at that time, you didn't feel like Lance was trying to quote unquote fix you, did you?
No.
No. I think
I
that's a
mean,
part of it too, right?
yeah, 8.9 seconds. There wasn't a lot of fixing. It was just like,
Yeah. Just
I
come
mean,
on
like,
with me.
it's between classes.
Right.
It's just like,
Right.
hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You want to come with me to this? Sure.
Invitation
And
to hang out.
right. And I mean, like, honestly, we do that in so many other things. I mean, like,
Right.
sometimes, like, running the streets and stuff, it'd be like, hey, man, what you doing, man? You know, we're doing this night.
That's right.
And so, like, we already know how to do invitation.
That's right.
It's inviting people to things that are life-giving.
That's good. That's good. Let me ask you this. For parents that might be listening, caregivers, guardians, coaches, teachers, etc., what are some of the symptoms, if you will, that a person may be dealing with, a young person may be dealing with hopelessness? And on that, I don't know if there's a quote unquote spectrum of hopelessness, right? Where it gets to being severe. But what are some of the signs that people should look out for?
Well, one, if you start, you'll see kind of a depression among of people. Sometimes there'll be an over, mania as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that'll happen towards the end where people start saying, hey, I want to give this stuff away. Not sleeping, not eating, a loss of interest in things that they once enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Really kind of lots of isolation. And that's one of the things that's hard, James, is because those little things called phones, it really can cause people to be highly isolated.
Yep.
And really just focused on a screen. Comparison, denigrating talk about themselves, and that comparison thing, like, I'm not as good as so-and-so.
Right.
And it's kind of like a persistent, and I'm worthless. Like, I don't have anything, to give. And when people start saying, like, you guys would be better off without me, I'm such a burden.
Yeah.
And again, like, sometimes having just really, honest and straightforward conversations, like, are you thinking about this?
Yeah.
Have you considered suicide? And then a question, have you made a plan? Okay. Because sometimes people will ideate, but not necessarily have a plan. But some people ideate and they have a plan.
They have a plan.
And then if you're like, do you have a definite plan? Walk me through that. And here's the thing, like, don't be embarrassed to, like, speak into someone's life, and to ask questions.
Yeah.
Sometimes, James, what I'll say, like, if you and I were talking, I may say, you know what, James, I may or may not have this right. And if I have it wrong, please forgive me. I've noticed some things and I just want to make sure you're okay. I want to let you know I care. Like, is there some things that that you're carrying? Sometimes we'll ask the question, like, how you're doing, but sometimes you can ask the question, hey, James, man, what's heavy on your shoulders today?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's
That's
heavy on your heart?
good.
And And sometimes when you talk to someone, when they're like, how you doing? Fine. Okay, talk a little bit more. So James, how are you doing? Oh man, I'm good. And it's like you talk a little bit more. It's like, okay, James, keep it real with me. Like, how are you really doing?
Yeah.
Because we want to be known. And this is one of the things I found. People want to be known. The question that they wonder is, does anyone actually care to listen?
Mm. Mm-hmm. That's good. And that to me goes back to, again, that quote, I'm in a crowded room, yet I feel by myself, right? If you feel
Yeah.
isolated, physical proximity of people doesn't matter if you feel isolated. What I love about some of the questions that you mentioned is it helps us get beyond the yes, no answer
Yeah.
response questions, right? Yes, no answer response questions are easy to get past, but that what are you struggling with? What's the burden on your shoulders right now? Some of those questions really get to that next point in the conversation. If some of these folks, David, tell me, say, listen, I have observed some things, as David has said, I've asked some questions that got some answers that have made me uncomfortable, but I'm not sure how to take the next step. I want to get my youth and person I care for plugged in a treehouse. What's the best way for them to do that?
Well, one of the things that we do a webinar, and like I'm going to make sure that I get the website correct. You can register on the website at treehousehope.org/webinar. And if you want to learn more about our programs and partnerships, you can go to our www.treehousehope.org and start a program. There's a get in touch form on that page that they can fill out. And, James, that's one of the ways that you can reach out to Treehouse. One of the things that we want to be clear too is that Treehouse has left behind kind of that old school takeover type of ministry type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like with that thing, like coming in and like, we're going to take over and we have all
Right.
the answers. Like, no. No, we don't operate with that type of hubris. We really believe that your community,
Right.
your kids, your family better than anyone. And our focus now really is on building up local churches and organizations to reach those that are in their community because your community so well. And there are so many wonderful assets in there that we don't have enough lifetimes to learn,
Yeah.
nor should we, because you're already there.
Right.
And so we offer resources, we offer expertise, but we create a true partnership because you're the experts on the ground. And we learn from local leaders how best to minister and partner with your culture and with your community. And so, we offer another thing, a faith forward and also faith neutral programs. Because for some, they're like, hey, I'm in a setting where I can be very much just faith forward that. But
Yeah.
Treehouse also has faith neutral. And because our goal is helping all teens to come out of hopelessness.
Yeah.
And so there's different ways that we go about this as a equipping organization. And we want to definitely have a conversation with you. Tim Clark, who is the CEO, is just, and the entire team, just an amazing group of people who have a deep love for people
Mm-hmm.
and are very much committed. I've served on a number of boards, but I've never, and I'm not just saying this for your show, I mean, like literally, I've never served on a board with such a group of people that are so also diverse.
Yeah.
A number of African Americans, Anglo, Asian, Latino. I mean, like there's just a rich makeup of people on this board, and they are all committed
That's
to
good.
seeing hopelessness ended among teens.
And that's so good. That's so good. David, Miles, thank you so much. Audience, I'll have it listed in the show notes for those that catch us on the podcast. But please, please, please avail yourself of these resources at treehousehope.org and either click on start a program or at /webinars and get connected today. David, thank you again.
Thank you so much, James. And thank you to your listeners as well.